From the era of Messi versus Ronaldo, we are currently in the era of Mbappe versus Haaland. And if their braces in the first group game of the Champions League is anything to go by, they mean business. They want the Champions League at all costs. After all, City and PSG look so damn impressive that winning the Champions League has to be inevitable for both sides. But which team will do it first? And which of the two superstars will achieve this feat first? Let's dig deep. Champions League record till now. After scoring a brace against Sevilla, Haaland became the first City player to score both on his Premier League and Champions League debut. He also became the fourth player to score in his Champions League debut for 3 different clubs. And in the game, Haaland again had just 19 touches of the ball, showing how it hardly matters how many times he touches it until he makes the meaningful touch of scoring a goal. What's more, Haaland has the best record in Champions League history after 20 games, scoring 25 goals in the process. For context, he broke the record of Ruud van Nistelrooy and Spaniard Roberto Soldado, who had scored 16 goals in the same time. Just for context, Ronaldo had no goals in his first 20 games, but of course ended up as the all-time top scorer with 140 goals. That's not to say Mbappe is lagging too far behind. After scoring a terrific brace against Sevilla, Mbappe became the youngest player ever to reach 35 goals in the Champions League. He's reached the 35 goals mark aged 23 years and 260 days, whereas his PSG teammate Messi did it at 23 years and 307 days. Mbappe has 55 goal involvements, 35 goals, 20 assists in the 54 Champions League games he's played. It's a truly exceptional record, showing his exceptional ability to create for his teammates. Which team is better? If we look at PSG and Manchester City, both have made it to the final in recent years. 1. PSG. PSG did so in 2020, losing to Bayern Munich 1-0 with a Kingsley Coman goal. It was a truly disappointing game with Mbappe and Neymar truly off color, but their change in direction this year has been a truly positive change. The role of Leonardo was given to the extremely impressive Luis Campos, and he relieved Pochettino of his duties by hiring Christopher Galtier this summer. Galtier is a respected figure in French football who recently won the league with Lille in 2021, beating PSG to the title. While Mbappe seemed to think that it was a failure from PSG rather than a success for Lille, it showed a manager who could get teams to punch above their weight. And so when PSG appointed him, it was met with a positive response from people who knew his exceptional coaching record so far. "We don't want flashy bling-bling anymore, it's the end of the glitter," said PSG president Nasser Al-Khelaifi, signaling a new era at PSG. And PSG have gotten off to a flyer under the pair. Luis Campos has overseen a truly impressive window for them, revamping the whole midfield with signings like Vitinha, Renato Sanchez, and Fabian Ruiz. He's been able to get the best out of Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe, and has dealt with penalty gate well also. PSG have mostly employed 3 at the back, with Ramos, Marquinhos, and Kimpembe offering them greater defensive security as they create loads of chances with their legendary front 3. Vitinha in particular looks like a revelation in midfield, and Fabian Ruiz is sure to grow his influence in a revamped midfield that is a definite improvement from the workmanlike midfield of PSG in previous years. The selfless role of Messi can also not be undermined, as he leaves much of the scoring to the likes of Mbappe and Neymar, taking up a lot of the creative burden for the side. All in all, this is a PSG team that looks set to challenge anyone in their way to win the European title. 2. Manchester City. City also played in a Champions League final the next year, losing to Chelsea 1-0 with Kai Havertz getting the all-important goal for Chelsea. With both the teams getting ever so close in recent years, both clubs are aching for European success. City are now playing in their 14th consecutive year in the Champions League and will be looking to finally win the European crown. But can they do it this year? Well, they have the players for it. Kevin De Bruyne continues to shine, Bernardo Silva is still an exceptional presence in midfield, and Riyad Mahrez can score at any time. But will losing Sterling and Jesus affect City? Well, it might. In the opening few games of the season, the game of Manchester City has been heavily reliant on Haaland. And with the lack of options on the bench, this might come back to haunt them as they enter the latter stages of the season. Also, their draws against Aston Villa and Newcastle prove that if you go toe-to-toe against City and attack them, they do not look as unbeatable as they do when you sit back. This might prove to be truly telling in the later stages of the Champions League, as Real Madrid proved last season. Another question is the fitness of Haaland. While a break during the World Cup would be great for him, he would have a lot of workload to manage during the latter part of the season. Julian Alvarez might be critical for City as they try to prevent the growing body of Haaland from suffering muscular injuries. But if City do fail to keep Haaland fit, it could be a huge problem for a side so over-reliant on him in the early parts of the season. The verdict. Both PSG and City have to be amongst the top 5 favorite sides to win the Champions League this season. But in our opinion, PSG and Kylian Mbappe will edge it before Haaland and Manchester City. Not only have they got all 3 of their superstars firing on all cylinders, they also have a much better midfield than previous years. While it's definitely not the end of the cycle for Guardiola and City, they might have to add to their offensive depth and try again next year. Agree with our analysis, or think that Haaland may single-handedly win City the Champions League this season? Let us know in the comments below. And keep showing your love to our videos like you continue to do. We'll see you next time.